Okay, what is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. This is part 2. Going to try this again. Unfortunately, the live stream did not seem to work for me, but regardless. So this is the last day in 2021, so I just want to start off, wish you guys all a Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, obviously not Merry Christmas, but you guys get the deal. Happy New Year to you and your families. Today, I just want to give you a good summary of everything to do with Lucid, go over a lot of the technicals, go over a lot of the data points very relevant to a lot of investors, go over the rumors, the spec, everything to do, and especially if you are new as well to Lucid. Definitely this will be a good transition and good summary of everything that you need to know. But before I get into any of that, smash a deal, smash a thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. I greatly appreciate all of that. Also, take a look at my memberships. Link in the description below as well. I do a weekly live streams for members only as well. So even more of an incentive to sign up. As well, you can see a live ticker going to my right or your left, whatever it is. So a couple of things to note as well, block volume. I'm going to be referring to that near the kind of middle throughout the video as well. Definitely does show a lot of support. So 516,000 as far as block volume. So that shows institutions. But with that said, let's get right into it. So as you can see on the intraday chart, we had some pretty good support. Not enough to break through the resistance as far as this point, but right now we are at a very pivotal point within Lucid as far as on the technical side. So a couple of things as well. Just want to start off by going over some driving factors into Lucid. So you can see yesterday there was a Citigroup. Citigroup did resume its buying rating on Lucid. Target price of $57. Whenever analysts typically do that, that is nothing but good things for whatever asset. So that is good for Lucid, especially given the circumstances right now. As far as the analysts, you can see there is one sell, one hold, and 2 buys. So obviously we all know that one sell. In reality, it's just more of a Tesla fan. So that as well, in reality, so I've been referring to this article over the last couple of videos as well, because in reality it's starting to come more and more. Not necessarily this isn't targeted towards Lucid in reality, but it does go to show that shorts are entering into a lot of these growth stocks. And when it comes down to it, shorts have been entering into Lucid specifically a lot. So looking at right now, so going over the data points, 16.76 is short interest, utilization 100%. That's something you need to pay attention to, utilization. So utilization shows a number of actual shares available to short. So with it being 100%, that means there is technically no additional shares to be able to short. So it's one of those things that it's something to watch for, especially with the right catalyst coming forward, aka we all know 2021 deliveries. It's just a matter of time. Obviously, that's up in the air. Some people seem to think it's going to be coming today. Some people think beginning of next week. Some people do, me being one of them, I do strongly feel that Lucid is going to do it during their next earnings. But regardless, whatever it does happen, especially with utilization at 100%, this does actually show as signs of a possible short squeeze. Day by day change, you can see it is negative 0.48%, 608,000 additional shares being shorted. You can see as well based on this, just goes to show exactly how much shorts have physically been getting in. So looking at here, even November, tail end of November, short interest was roughly about 9%, which even given the circumstances is relatively high. We did reach a high of 19%. So again, goes back to this article on why it's shedding light to shorts physically entering in. A couple of things as well. So regardless of shorts entering in, which is a stupid point for them to do anyways. So there's whales. A lot of people like to look at whales and what they're buying and things like that. There has been a lot of trading activity. So a lot of calls, and you can see the strike prices. Some are 25, some are at 60. But again, all of them are at the beginning of January, but 2023. So in kind of alluding to more of a price increase, definitely, regardless of where it is. Even with this $25 strike price, it is still a bullish signal. So that is in reality a very good sign. So there is a lot of things as well. Looking at this though, so like I said, take a look at the block volume. In reality, from the live ticker, I do see this as more of a calm before the storm, especially considering right now it's a very pivotal point, most as well in a technical stance as well, but more so everyone's waiting with anticipation for the 2021 deliveries. and production numbers. In reality, I think majority of us investors actually do strongly know that we are well above them, 100%. In reality, given all the circumstances, especially with Bear's Workshop doing almost daily, every second day, as far as flybys, we all know, like, especially I think 3 weeks ago, I did a video saying that we're roughly give or take at 490. And since then, we've had a couple, probably about 700-800 in total. So I think right now you can see the chart behind me. This is the block volume for the last 30 days. There has been significant actual purchasing by institutions and hedge funds. So you can see 14 million shares. Lately, it's been relatively average. So again, typically about 2 to 4 million per day. Keep that in mind. That's a big deal. Obviously, this was when they got added, or at least known added to the NASDAQ 100. But there is a lot of good things when it comes down to all of this. And obviously, I think it was December 20th. It's when it was officially announced that they had to be added. This, not really much changed from as far as my previous videos, but there still is a lot of ETFs. This is obviously ETF season as far as their disclosures. Tail end of the year as well. So a lot of institutions and hedge funds will be adding. Unfortunately, when it comes to this Fintel information, it's not always up to date. So I just want to show you one thing, more so on a speculative fashion. So these are the top 5 block trades for today. Obviously, like I already mentioned as well, typically it is relatively low as far as the block volume trades today, but still, you can see 37,000, 31, 23, 18, and 17,000 in obviously in regards to that. But I want to show you exchange. So you can see the dark pool. So typically the dark pool is outside the secondary market, what you and I trade in. This is more for institutions trading amongst each other. Usually 9 times out of 10 when there is done through the dark pool, it's more so done to cover their short position. So out of everything, what you can see, shorts have closed, like I said, 608,000 additional shares. That's just live data today only. So in that regard, it definitely does show that a lot of institutions and hedge funds and whoever's deciding to short Lucid in their vast knowledge, whatever they have, they most likely are closing out some of their positions today and through the dark pool. So this is why when it's done through the dark pool, it's outside the secondary market, so you won't see these fluctuations in the price. So there's a couple of reasons why they do that, but regardless, that is something always to keep in mind as well at the end of the day. Especially looking at this yesterday though. So I always like to look at this, the percent of block trade volume on a daily basis as far as total. So looking at this, so yesterday was 8.5%, the total volume was being purchased by institutions. That hands down is something that a lot of people love to see, me being one of them as well, right? So given all the circumstances, there is a lot of support when it comes to Lucid. And there is that, obviously, like I mentioned at the beginning, I'm going to be talking about the good, bad, yellow, everything that you need to know. I just want to talk about this. So this one, it did show you exactly, it was a really good picture. So it goes over the lockup agreements. So because typically a lot of people are worried about upcoming lockup period by Saudi Arabia, the PIF. So you can see they have 73%, give or take, obviously, their ownership at the time of this. So it shows January 19th, 2022. So fairly close time period. There is a lot of fear when it comes to this, and in reality, I'm going to have a lot of cash on hand just in case there is a lot of sell-off because of that reasoning. Because when it comes down to it, even if PIF doesn't actually sell, which I don't strongly feel that they would, especially given looking at the price as of right now and where it's been, it's at a significant discount. Yes, they're up roughly about 100, maybe 200%, something like that. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, it's no different than all those memes that you see about Bitcoin. People buying Bitcoin, refusing to buy Bitcoin at $6 or something because they think it's going to go down to $3. That's the same mentality as PIF, right? Because yes, Lucid is up roughly 100%, give or take where their position, what they entered in. But they are not thinking 1 year out. They're thinking several years out. So this is where I come into the fact that it's just narrow-mindedness. They're not going to be selling their position. If anything, if there is a dip or starting to allude to a dip beforehand, it is going back to this. It is shorts. Shorts going to be taking advantage of that, especially considering we've had so many catalysts up here. And then it kind of got it a little bit more speculative when Jim Cramer started to talk, saying that there was a bubble. And then it was just negative thing after negative thing. Obviously pushed Lucid down quite a lot. But when it comes down to it, if there is any selling that does actually occur, most likely it's just shorts taking advantage of the ambiguous situation and fear, because there's a lot of speculation. A lot of people are assuming that there's going to be PIF selling out. Even if not, there's going to be people that try to imitate that, right? So that's something that is out there that a lot of people need to be aware of. So obviously January 19th is a day to watch for, at least 1 week as well before that. Also, so more speculative as far as things and rumors that are going out is this. So obviously this came out a couple days back, so on the 29th, so 2 days back. So looking at the rims, this is what people are focusing on as of right now. So looking at the rims right now, a lot of people are saying, because obviously it's transitioning from the Air Dream to the Grand Touring, right? Looking at the Grand Touring, you can see this type of style of rims, and does eerily look, again, this is probably a couple 100 feet away, right? So give or take the best picturing that you can actually do. And going on to their actual website, I love their website, by the way, it's pretty nice. But so just going to show you this. So this is the Air Dream edition. You can tell based on the rims, significantly different. And Grand Touring, again, you can kind of tell that, well, it's more than kind of, you can obviously tell there is a big difference. And going back to these pictures, so again, alluding to that they are starting to produce and actually hopefully ship out fairly soon Grand Tourings. This was obviously floating around for quite some time. I just want to mention hypothetically just how important this is and how it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but people are focusing on it. So hypothetically, again, price expectation. So as you can see, it popped up a little calculator. We all know hypothetically that there is, as far as production, we know roughly about 20,000 is expected for 2022, give or take whatever it is. So right now, let's say we take I did pull up this. So I believe there's 13 stat haul days. So you take 365 minus 13, and then take that divided by, oh, that was completely, I did that wrong. 20,000 divided by 362, right? I think that was. So they need to do roughly about 56 vehicles, 57 arguably per day. This is why especially based on what they've been doing, they definitely need to, especially if they are going to meet their actual expectations, they need to get their pedal to the metal, and that's to say that lightly. So yeah, when it comes down to it, a lot of people have been focusing on this, causing a lot of speculation. Like I said, that's very spec topics, especially based on Twitter. But when it comes down to it, this is one thing that is feeling a little bit of people are happy about this, to say the least. But again, it comes down to the numbers, right? So 57 vehicles per day is what they need to do. So hypothetically, with tomorrow being January the 1st, whether they're actually working or not on the holiday or whatever, they definitely need to do push pretty hard on this. So again, that is some factors to consider when it comes to all of that. Like I said, obviously there is a lot of different ways that is playing with Lucid. I'll take a look at the comments soon as well. But so make sure you leave any comments as well if you have any questions. But so like I said, obviously this is a good summary for everything. If you are new to Lucid, these are some of the things that are going around. There is also some more as well. I did bookmark some. If you haven't already, make sure you follow me on Twitter as well. So this VIN sequencing. So when it comes down to it, a lot of people are saying, because this VIN does have 1385, insinuating that there is hypothetically obviously 1,300 at least, give or take, or 1,400 vehicles that were produced and out there, right? So this is where this is coming from. So yes, this is good. In reality, I don't think there is any validity to this. I don't ever like to say negative things, especially considering I'm a big bull in Lucid, and I love Lucid. Lucid is a solid buy, and in reality, this is like a dream to get, like to actually have like a equivalent of a Tesla scenario at its beginning stages, being able to actually invest in it. It's amazing, and I love that. That's why I continue to do Lucid videos. But in reality, I think I don't like to spread negative stuff, or at least wrong information. So I personally don't think that there is any validity to that sequencing, as much as it would be nice to do and assume that there's 1,400 plus vehicles being produced. Again, I could be wrong, and the only way to find out is hypothetically once Lucid actually does tell us exactly what is happening, right? But anyways, this is obviously stuff that's still lingering around as well. So with that, there is a little bit of technical analysis I want to talk on. And like I said at the beginning, it's a very pivotal point for Lucid right now. So especially on the chart. So 50, 100, 200-day moving averages, Bollinger Bands. Typically when it is transitioning from lower to higher percentile of the Bollinger Band, there is significant resistance. So as you can see a little bit, we did fail. We tested it, but failed to actually break past it. That is always a very strong key. Once we actually get through that and stay above that in the higher percentile, that does show a upward trend. Looking at as well, stochastic. 9 times out of 10, these are very accurate, especially in combination with everything else. So right now you can see a little bit of a deviation occurring. So black line is above the reds, showing a bullish signal, as well as momentum. Number of buyers are actually up. So again, this is why I like to do a lot of different technicals on here, because piecing one alone is okay, but piecing everything together is very good. So again, increase in actual volume, stochastic, which is always fairly good. RSI lately has been fairly neutral, so 46 is okay, but fairly neutral. This on the technical stance though. So right now we are technically below the 50-day moving average. We are above the 100 and 200. So we're in this happy range right now. Again, it could hypothetically go down, but especially given all the circumstances of what's so much anticipation when it comes to Lucid, I don't see that happening, especially considering, going back to this, the huge amount of actual institutions and block trades that's actually happening on a daily basis. It definitely shows that there's so much support when it comes to Lucid. It's absolutely insane. This is why anyone shorting Lucid is literally out of their mind, hands down. It's absolutely crazy to think that people are actually shorting it and actually do think that it's going to go down. It's like they haven't learned their lesson with Tesla. But again, so I just want to show you this as well since I'm on this screen. So yes, this is kind of more estimates when it comes to price, short interest and daily changes. The exchange does actually provide updates 2 times a month as far as updates on short interest. It's not always accurate because it's always delayed, but you can see their last release date, which was December the 27th, and it showed up to December 15th. So as of December 15th, short interest officially was 13.17%. So yeah, that's okay. And obviously we can see it has increased a little bit since then. But looking here, as of at the end of November, though, it was only 7. So it did double, went up 100% as far as shorts entering since in that 2-week time span. So again, just goes to show how much shorts are actually taking advantage of Lucid, taking advantage of the lack of news when it comes down to it as well. So there is a lot of things, a lot of good. I'm really happy about the technicals. I like that. Obviously, when it comes down to it, you can see we are starting to pull back a little bit. That is largely because when we do fail to actually break past the resistance, we typically, 9 times out of 10, not just Lucid, but we do pull back, get more stronger consolidation, more stronger support levels, and then we trend up a little bit. So nothing wrong with that at the end of the day. I'm very happy, especially with everyone, like I said, has been on the edge of their seat waiting for deliveries. Looking at resistance points and support. So there's a lot of ads on this website. But so first, second, and third resistance points. So 40, 41, and 42. We did get fairly high, like I said. But looking at here as well, so first, second, and third support levels, so 37, 35, and 34. Out of everything, I do see a little, like I've kind of insinuated right here, despite all the indicators actually showing a bullish signal, there is a little bit of room to drop hypothetically, and you can tell that based on here as well. It does seem to be abnormally low as far as the overall volume today, so that could be an attributing factor. But you can see the support level, so 37, and then the lowest one next is 35. That is a little bit of a gap that might possibly come, but again, might not be today. It just needs a good catalyst, right? There's nothing really negative to cause Lucid hypothetically down, unless it's just more fear mongering. Like as far as COVID fears, that's kind of subsided substantially. Inflation, yes, it's still out there. Rate hikes are hypothetically coming. Rate hikes will definitely kill 9 times out of 10 a lot of growth stocks, such as Lucid. But when it comes down to it, Lucid has a lot of cash, especially based on their recent debt offering, which in reality is fairly low interest. I think it's 1.25%. So that is also another really good thing when it comes to Lucid, is that they can actually finance, even if so they do have a lot of ambitious growth goals. That's why I really like them. At the end of the day, they want to do Saudi Arabia, they want to do China, they want to grow their plant. And I just want to show you this as well. On a side note, do you see this stupid stuff that I have to deal with? I do live in Canada, so minus 29, obviously you can just translate that to Fahrenheit. It's a cold day, a very cold day. Not really happy about that, but side note. So as well as this, their AMP facility. So they're currently undergoing phase 2, and especially considering I have done a lot of DD on this as well, factoring in looking at Bear's Workshop flyovers. Phase 2, they are starting early their phase 3 of their construction as far as the gravity. So based on one of his live streams, he did indicate that he's been in contact with a construction crew or worker or something like that, and I guess initially they were just going to lay the foundation, but which was already premature, but they are now doing the poles, the steel poles as well, because I guess it's a lot more advantageous to do it at the same time as the cement. So in reality, that is a very good sign that the gravity may come sooner as well. So there is a lot of good catalysts that can easily, like I said, cause a little bit of a short squeeze. So again, it's not going to be one of those short squeezes that I'm not going to say is going to go to 5,000, anything like that. It won't, hands down. Especially considering if there is a lot of institutions that are just doing it behind the scenes at the dark pool, then yeah, it will never really see fluctuations in the price. But still, when it comes down to it, it's very beneficial for Lucid investors. So yes, with that is a lot of good things. I'll take a look, so make sure you leave a lot of comments. Appreciate that, guys. Yeah, I agree with that, Clayton. We are struggling to get past 40, but that is, if you have to, think about it. As far as a market cap view, we are fairly high, especially considering a lot of which that is driving Lucid, especially its price for the most part, is its growth. And tech, hands down, especially its autonomous driving. They have a lot of patents for that as well. I've brought those up in a lot of videos. I tried to give you a good summary and a very quick summary in those videos, because to go through those patents, each one of which is like 75 pages, very lengthy, because obviously they need to protect it, right? They need to explain exactly what it does at what time. So there's a lot of good things when it comes to Lucid, and we all know why it's built into the price. So this is why it's a little bit spec, right? There's nothing really during this time. There was so many good news. They were unveiling new technology, their ambitions, their goals. And as of right now, still year to date or anything, they haven't let us down as far as investors. So there's no reason to doubt them whatsoever. But on a technical stance, yeah, I agree with you. $40 is a very strong psychological barrier that we do have to get through. And coincidentally, 39.91 is the central point. Like I said about the transitioning from the lower to the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band, that is very strong support. So in reality, that is always going to be a very strong support, or resistance, I should say. So at the end of the day, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, freaking Kramer. Yeah, he definitely. I wish I had it all readily available, but it is like gives me a goddamn headache sometimes when it's like. So he caused this. There's obviously I loved the comments, and I think even a couple of videos after that, I love the comments that you guys say about Kramer. It's so funny. But so yeah, he says right around here that that's a just Rivian. I find that so funny. Just Rivian and Lucid, not Tesla, but those two are in a bubble. So that starts this. Probably preemptively starts a chain reaction. A lot of the pipe investors that lost so much pretty much right here because they sold out because they thought that for whatever reason that Lucid was garbage. They lost a lot probably at the end of the day. In reality, they were wrong, so they decided to go to probably flee to the SEC, get them to investigate, causing a little bit further issues, causing so much just blah. And in reality, I think the debt offering was just the cherry on top. I saw that as a very strong positive, but in reality, I think a lot of people didn't, especially considering a lot of investors in Lucid right now are fairly new. So hearing debt offering, dilution, it's very scary. But yeah, goddamn Kramer. And then he comes out with an article saying that that Lucid is one of his top 10 buys. So it's like, so right here, like I think it was like 48 or 50. So at that price, you think it's a bubble, but yet a bubble is significant. That's like a 80, 90% over inflation. Not like if it's 37, and if he said it even at 48, well, that's 20%, or like 25. That is not a bubble. Like how much of an idiot are you? Like, god damn it. Like, that makes zero sense to me. I appreciate that, Back Alley. Oh, Timmy's appreciate that. Thanks. Hope you're not doing that in driving. I know, Back Alley. Like, oh my god. Like I just bought a new car. Unfortunately, I wish I would have bought like a Lucid. That would have been nice, but yeah, it like I woke up as minus 47. That is not something I want to like. Why I want to gives you no incentive to wake up. But anyways, but then I realized that the stock market's open, and then might as well pull up. Yep, you're right. Level D Yun, level 4 autonomous patent. Yeah, that is going to be huge, 1,000,000%. And that's something actually, if you do go through a lot of Tesla's patents, they actually do have quite a lot as well, which I think all automotive vehicles do. They don't have that. Like that's very exciting for Lucid. I think they were alluding to it. I think in one of Elon's tweets, actually, he did say something about level 4 autonomous driving. But in reality, it didn't. From what I quickly scanned through, it didn't look like they had the technology. Habitual, how many cars they deliver? That's a good question. In reality, I don't know. Based on speculation, anywhere I would say 700 or more. Let me know what you guys actually think. What you guys actually think about that. A lot of people seem to be all over the place. Regardless, I think, unless you are very negative, I think there's different types of people as of right now as well. So there's people that did sell out here. They don't want Lucid to succeed. Yes, they made some money, but typically when you sell out of something, you are out, majority of the time at least. Very rarely do you actually get back in. So I think they want Lucid to fail. So I think that when you see the people that are saying that there's maybe only 100 deliveries, which even looking at Bear's Workshop, like hands down, like it, I'll just pull up. Mm, 29th. Yeah, they're starting deliveries. This is the 29th. That was the last one. Yeah, so nothing recent. And this is good views of exactly what's... So this is, in reality, going back to this. So this is the green here, phase 2 construction that they are doing right here. And then these 3 plots right here, that is where the gravity is going to be constructed. So even more very good news when it comes down to it. It looks like they haven't fully officially started as of yet, because obviously I don't think they would prioritize phase 3 constructions before phase 2, but still, they are ahead of the game. And yeah, still, even looking at this, I know a lot of people do like to follow big money, so a lot of call options as well being purchased on that. Actually, I'll leave that up. Yeah, stand up, SNDL. Yeah, that's going to be another good one. Happy New Year to you all as well. Habitual, are they announcing how many cars they deliver this year? Most likely not. I do, especially what we see of Lucid. Lucid is very by the book, and so looking at the SEC reports, you can kind of get to tell on exactly how they are. So typically when you're looking at a lot of the reports on here, they are even a lot of larger companies, they're a lot less formal. When it comes to Lucid though, because keep in mind, a lot of which the management team and of Lucid are all engineers, right? So they, and obviously engineers by trade, they are very meticulous about how things are done by the book. And that you can tell based on all their reports and their prospectuses, and even their earnings as well. Very, very formal, very formally done. Even the wording in here as well is very formally done. So I do strongly think that most likely it will be their earnings. I could be wrong, which it does look like here the estimated earnings is February the 3rd. So that could be, like I said, right around the corner. We won't really have to wait too much longer, ideally. But still, when it comes down to it, that's how I see things. A lot of people seem to be all over the place when it comes down to that, though. Yeah, the lockup. So as far as the lockup, it isn't that much to talk about. So this does lay it out fairly well. So there's Lucid shareholders, which is January the 19th. The PIPE, which was September the 1st. In reality, like, it's not that big of a deal. Like I said, there's a lot of different ways how to see it. Yes, they are up a significant amount, but I don't think that's their goal, right? Because the kingdom, there's been so many articles that the kingdom wants to manufacture, I believe, is 50 to 60% of all of their vehicles done locally. And Lucid is going to hopefully be one of the first companies out there, first manufacturers to have the first advantage, right? Like, coming from an investment standpoint, Lucid, even if they do build a facility in your back door, backyard, or whatever it is, that's even more of an incentive to throw more money at it versus pulling money out. Just because I know the typical mentality of a retail investor is, I'm up 200%, I'm going to pull out. With that same mentality, if you think about what happened with Tesla, well, Tesla's up now 1,200%. If you had the same mentality, you would have missed out. So yeah, it might happen at the end of the day if they do pull out. And like I said, I'm going to have some cash on hand in case that does happen. But if it does take a dip, then in reality, that's just more of a buying opportunity, hands down. Because yeah, like I said, it's just, they sometimes have a different mentality as us, and so do a lot of institutions, right? This is why you can tell 554,000 just today alone from institutions. Shows a lot of people and a lot of big money know exactly that it's a big deal, right? So yeah, looking at this, like, even this is a block volume. So just a different mentality as well. I appreciate that, Steve. Thank you. 54 to 55. You know what? That, to be honest, that won't be okay. So hypothetically, if they do actually come out with their deliveries tomorrow, and for argument's sake, I guess the what is it? So 63. Let's pull up the calculator. So there was 63 days ultimately that they had for this calendar year that they had to deliver. So let's say, for argument's sake, 50 times by 63. So 3,100, give or take, is how many they would actually need to do in 2021 to actually do a give or take roughly about equivalently of their expectations for 2022. So if they can actually do, let's say, 1,500, and that's a fair estimate. If they can do 1,500 as far as overall deliveries, then this will easily go to where your dream was. 54, 55, if not well above more. I do strongly think that $60 will be a very pivotal point. But yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, GG investor. Yeah, Kramer did slam Rivian Lucid. I don't think he did mention revenues, but I think that goes hand in hand with, yeah, once the deliveries hit FOMO, yeah. I think regardless, I don't know how I wouldn't show my face. Like if I tell you guys, you know what, Lucid is bubble, don't buy it whatsoever, and then 2 weeks later you see me saying, you know what, Lucid is an amazing buying opportunity, like that's just embarrassing. And especially he's huge. Well, I wouldn't say he's somewhat okay, but still, that Jim Cramer is hilarious. I would not even do that. Like in videos, I like to give you guys like I said, the good, bad, the ugly. I don't like to hide negatives because I know, like I said, a lot of new investors are, for the first time, this is their first stock that they buy when it comes to Lucid. They might not know a lot of negatives. They might not know how to perceive something, how to perceive the debt offering, how things are actually done, right? Especially when it comes to shorts as well, right? Shorts they have sufficient capital to like cause a lot of manipulation. Some days there's, for no reason, no rhyme, nothing, Lucid's down significantly. And same with other growth stocks. Well, it's shorts. You see shorts are up 7% those days. It comes down to the fact that if around this time period when shorts were entering significantly, someone new to investing, they would be panicked worth of hell. But in reality, it's nothing. It's just people patience at the end of the day. That's what you need to have, especially coming from as a retail investor standpoint. It's one thing if anyone here has a lot of money, yeah, that's very beneficial. You can make a lot of big changes in the stock price, but me, for instance, I won't be able to fluctuate prices and do things like that. But let's see, target sell at 50 to 55. That's a slippery slope, if I'm saying that wrong. Tish, I wouldn't sell at 50 to 55. If it does get up there, it's because of good catalysts. Growth stock's been hit significantly. A lot of fears with COVID. That fear is starting to subside a lot. So I think that is also showing why we have had a lot of strong support here. And when it comes down to it, a lot of people compare Lucid to Tesla all the time. Just obviously when it comes down to it, Lucid is at the beginning stages, but it goes to show how much of a upside there can actually be. So I don't think, even if it goes to 50, I'm not selling, hands down. Because I know based on the growth, if they actually do anything of what they, like, even if they do roughly about 40% of what they say, just open up the Saudi Arabia plant, skip China, which in reality I don't think China is going to be very beneficial to them. Even if they skip China, just build in Saudi Arabia, hands down this will be $150 to $200 next year, because that alone. So right now, their AMP facility, they at full capacity, which I believe will be done mid-decade, 365,000 units per year. Right now, currently doing phase 2, so it'll be 90,000. Saudi Arabia, I believe, will have at full capacity of, I believe I read somewhere, 500,000. So showing a roughly about 700 to 800,000 units per year. That is good. And like I said, they have, I'll show you this as well, they do have sufficient capital. So Lucid at the end of the day, especially with growth stocks getting hit by interest rates increasing, is obviously going to be coming. But when it comes down to even on their balance sheet, and this isn't factoring in their latest debt offering, they had 4.8 billion in total cash equivalents and short-term investments, whereas 216 million in debt. That's chump change. I'm sure that's just for this. Because I believe it's 18,000 a day just for that crane alone. But they have a huge amount of cash on hand. So even with stuff going up, it going to $50, hands down, I wouldn't sell it because they have so much cash. They can actually outright fund almost all their projects for the most part and completely do up to about 2023 without any additional growth. Like I said, that's depending if they still go along with China. I don't strongly think that they will. Actually, since I have so many people here right now, what do you guys think? Do you think China would be a good venture for Lucid? Because I know hands down it's a very good, a lot of money there. But you see the tensions between China and the States. Hands down, like I do not strongly think that it's incentivizing for any company to go there, knowing that any moment, especially how China kind of works, they can just easily you know what, we're cutting you today. Like, then what? We lose our money? That's it? Like, I don't know. Yeah, China does have, I agree with you, China does have a lot of money. But even if you think about it, so the way I like to think about Tesla, and as much as, Tesla is all over the place and we're in kind of direct competition with Tesla, the way I like to think of what they've done for Lucid is they broke down a lot of barriers. They did kind of laid the foundation for Lucid and other EVs to succeed. Right now, obviously, Lucid has a better product, better marketing, in my opinion, as well. They just don't have a CEO that's very loudmouth and as boastful as Elon, but they still do have better product at the end of the day. I would personally like to see, because even Tesla's had struggled to go into China, right? If just let Tesla go into China, see how that turns out, let them lose the money if possible. We have a better product. Because right now, I think a lot of EVs as well are focusing on Europe as well. Europe is another big market that we can definitely do. But still, I think growth, hands down, is one of those. Well, so John, just to touch on that. So China is the second biggest market. Why not? So why not? Because it's very ambiguous, especially with tensions between the first and the second biggest markets. Well, especially if second market doesn't want first market to succeed, especially one of their own companies, when they have a NIO in their back pocket, why would they ever want Lucid or Tesla to succeed, right? And China, based on the news, again, they can do what they want in some, right? Yeah, I agree. I do think that Europe would be a lot more advantageous as far as growth. Obviously, I got off topic regardless. I think a little bit. I think the original question was that I would not sell at 50. Only because I guess goes down to it that there's so much growth and they've done it, right? As far as an investor standpoint, they haven't let us down. They have amazing product. Looking at this as well, and especially like it looks like they are already starting to produce a Grand Touring. That is one beautiful product. And then as well, even if they bump it up, like everything is so nice. And I don't know if it's on there. I don't think it's on their main page, but even the Gravity as well. So the Gravity, once it actually does get fully functioning, because again, I think it's supposed to be the tail end of 2023, based on word of mouth and how things are looking, does look like it's going to be moved up. So even more of a reason why I personally wouldn't sell at 50. Because yeah, I like to admit my mistakes, and sometimes I do go back to my trades, previous trades from several years ago, and just shake my head, such as Apple. I bought Apple, I think, at 99, sold at 112. That was pre-split. I make that mistake. Same with Tesla. I bought Tesla, I think it was at 198, pre-split. Look at that. People make mistakes, right? The key difference is if you're going to learn from your mistakes. And again, in my scenario as well, was patience. Because I was up, like a lot of people were saying, up maybe 100% or whatever it was, or 50%. I was happy with that. I got out, whereas I missed out on hypothetically 700%. That is what is going to happen with Lucid. There is a lot of doubt right now because of the broader market of what's happened. But in reality, technicals are amazing. Looking at on this standpoint, their growth is just out of this world, and institutions know that, hands down. And even just, I believe, went up another 60,000 as far as block volume, just while doing the video. So yeah, you just need to know that when it comes to Lucid, it's going to be all over the place. It's going to be a bumpy ride. You may be down 20% some days, and 2 weeks later you'll be up 50%. It's just name of the game. Exactly, Sammy. Hold on to your Lucid shares. You'll become Lucidnaires. We can easily go out and buy a Lucid. Actually, as well, I remember I did a video on this. I kind of got a little bit of pushback. Only because, let's see. See that cold as well? I'm just going to pull this up. So obviously, for those of you that do know, I live in Canada. Look at this damn cold. Obviously, that's Celsius. Like, what the hell? Like, why? Nobody wants to live here. No, that's the same website. But anyways, there was this... I'm just going to pull it up just to go give you a good perception of, again, even reasons why you need to still hold on to it. Yeah, Axios. So this article does say that obviously Lucid wants to do a $25,000 vehicle, obviously mirror what Tesla's doing, because again, majority of people can't afford higher end price point vehicles as much as they are very attractive. People want lower priced ones. It does say here that they can do it in 8 to 9 years, could take up to 9 years, but with a actual partner, they can do it in 4 years. So this was, let's see, where was this? Am I missing the date? I think this was in, April. Okay. Well, actually, I think there was a adjusted one. I believe this was in September, at least it came out. But still, even in April. So December 13th. So now it says Lucid Motors CEO sees a $25,000 vehicle in 4 years. Well, based on what this was, and I swear this was in September, just came out. But so it says here that they can do 4 years with a partnership. Then in December, they can do it in 4 years now. Regardless, that even if they can do it in 4 years, that's a very good reason why you need to buy always. But partnership. There is a partnership in the midst, and I do strongly think that this upcoming earnings, I was starting to gather stuff together to do a video on this tomorrow. But literally, I do think that this, like, in a concept, this upcoming earnings is like a similar, like a nuke. It is going to massively explode, completely obliterate anyone's perception of Lucid. It will completely destroy all the shorts, because I do strongly think that they're going to issue their obviously production 2021 results, their deliveries. I do also think that they are going to allude to a partnership, because especially based on this as well, it does show that there's a partnership. Their gravity as well, because like I said here, they are going to be starting their laying out of the gravity. So I think this is going to be a perfect storm to buy into, and especially based on this, it does show, I think, February 3rd as far as the earnings. So if they bump up Gravity, if they have a partnership, and then they issued 2021 results, this is going to be a gold mine, like even in the beginning year of next year. Exactly, Ted. Yeah, Apple. Yeah, good. I love that. How long did it take before the Model 3 came out? Ooh, I don't know. Thanks, Sammy. Appreciate that. Yeah, stupidity cannot be cured. Yep. I think at the end of the day, that's what the market is, right? It hypothetically moves people from money from the impatient to the patient. That's one of the best ways to put it. And shorts are always betting against it, right? And even just, I think, starting this live stream is negative 0.38. So shorts are still closing out their position more and more. Yeah, even more reason why to continuously buy all the time. Yeah, here's December 20th. Yeah, analysts, a lot of good analysts. Yeah, it's an exciting time to be in Lucid, hands down. Out of Lucid options, that is a good point. And I'll pull up some. I personally have 2023 options, but I'll just pull up things behind. And I do believe I have March, and I think I have 2024. I sold some puts. As far as options, I think options still hands down is a very good way to go, and you can even tell based on this as well. So a lot of people are believing that Lucid is going to continue to go up. And actually, this might be a little bit better. So you can see the sentiment for yesterday. 96% of were positive orders for options. Today seems to be only 2 orders. I think in general, just people took the day off. Nobody wants to work today in general. But overall, it does look like you can see like a lot of 2022s, a lot of high strike prices. So 40s, 45, those are the kind of the big money ones as of right now. Some calls, but there are obviously some puts. Yeah, you can see block though as well. That's one thing that you always, because keep in mind, yeah, not all institutions are buying actual shares, because these are all the actual institutions hedge funds have kind of disclosed. A lot of do things like this. So there's Jefferies. So in their case, they did a kind of more of a call put scenario. So they closed out their calls. So I don't know why they would have done that. This obviously delayed. This is just when they reported it on December the 17th. But a lot of them do actually do that. Have a good staggered approach where they do, for instance, Jane Street. So has the shares, calls 4.2 million and 2.2 million as far as puts. So obviously, I think a lot of people do that. So just because when you see this and you see puts, I'm not too worried about it at the end of the day, even considering they are block. It's just it is what it is. It's just part of the name of the game, right? They're just hedging their bets. Yeah, Sammy, Rivian does have, except I thought they did. Rivian just won their truck of the year, didn't they? But still, I don't like Rivian. 𝗪𝗓𝗧? No, February 3rd is just a estimate. Unfortunately, everyone only has estimates as of right now. The only ones that actually know, hypothetically, is just Lucid when they want to disclose it. Typically, about 2 weeks before said date, they will give you conference call info through PR. So as of right now, it's just all speculation. Give or take, it should be around this. I did estimate, I think it's like the first or second week of February. But again, it's all up to them, right? If you do look, like if a company's been around for several decades, you can always look back and it's always same time, same date all the time. When it comes to Lucid, obviously it's whenever they want. So it might be February the 3rd. It could be 2 weeks after that. Yeah, exactly, John. By February 22nd. GG Investor. Yeah, you're a big fan in GGPI, eh? From what I could see in your videos. Yeah, GGPI does seem pretty good. Yeah, John, I completely agree with you. It is crazy cold. Thanks, Back Alley. Thanks for the support for the Timmies. Yeah, a lot of good things, guys. Yeah, so when it comes down to it, there's even in this, again, kind of gave a good broad overview of 2022 of things you need to know. There's a lot of reasons why people need to buy into Lucid and why Lucid is a very huge buying opportunity right now. One of which, technicals. Technicals are a very good time period, and even looking here as well, I think this shows time. We are heading into the kind of the best time period to actually invest in, between 2 to 3. 9 times out of 10, majority of which is very green. And as you can see lately, it's been a lot of red days in the first half an hour. So it's interesting. Sometimes you can go a little bit overboard with analyzing things, but it's pretty good. Good way to invest sometimes. With that said, though, I just want to appreciate, I appreciate all the support, guys. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up, subscribe, join the membership. It's very advantageous. Do weekly live streams as well, whatever you guys are looking for. But with obviously this being the last day in 2021, just want to wish you guys all a happy new year as well. And wish you and your families the best in 2022. Hopefully we all get extremely rich with Lucid and all of our other investments, whatever they may or may not be. But yeah, with all that, I think I might cap this off. And yeah, don't forget to smash the thumbs up and all that fun stuff. Thanks, Jim. Happy New Year, guys. See you guys. Happy New Year. And let me know in the comments below as well what if you guys have been buying lately as well.